My name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That is fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Attention, moms. You know, we're also concerned about how we look on the outside, but what about our insides? Now you can age-proof your body with Protandem. Just reach for what's been called the best anti-aging product out there, as seen on the Today Show. Sign up now as a preferred customer, and after receiving your 3rd bottle, get a $50 Visa gift card. Just click on the ad to the right of this video to get started. Alrighty. Beth Aldrich is telling you that you can have a love affair with food, and she's got a book out to tell you how. Real Moms Love to Eat, How to Conduct a Love Affair with Food, Lose Weight, and Feel Fabulous. Beth is also a healthy lifestyle and nutrition expert. She appears regularly on TV shows across the nation, and she contributes to a number of mom blogs. So we would like to welcome Beth Aldrich today. I hope I'm saying your name right, Beth. Is that correct?
You are. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. What a pleasure. I'm loving listening to the conversation firsthand here.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. We have Adrienne Graves with us today. She is our guest mom host for the day, so she may be asking you a couple questions.
Absolutely. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here, too.
Yeah. Well. And Adrienne is very relevant. I just nailed her down yesterday that she was going to be on the show, and she has a blog. Say the name of the blog.
It's called Confessions of a Second Grade Closet Eater.
I love it.
Yeah, second grade closet eater. So she's a good person to be asking you some questions.
Well, I would love to have you do a guest blog on my Real Moms Love to Eat blog as well.
Thanks. I would.
Okay.
I would enjoy that.
Contact me.
We're networking here.
Yeah.
Just everybody else, you can just take a seat
Talk
while we're networking.
You all listening can just hold on. We'll do our networking.
Okay. All right. So tell people, Beth, I read a little bit about you as I was preparing for the show. You do have some reasons as to why you decided to help moms be okay with the fact that they love to eat.
I do.
So talk to moms about that.
I appreciate. Thank you. So, working as a certified health counselor, I work with specifically moms because I'm a mom. So I thought from my perspective, I'd best understand what they're going through in their busy lives. And when I'm working with moms, I often notice there was this push-pull, love-hate, dysfunctional thing kind of going on with food. We'd eat this lovely, delicious food and then feel guilty about it later. And so I thought, why not conduct a love affair with food? Why not love your food? Go back to your nostalgic memories of food. Growing up, I remember sitting on the porch with my friend eating Laffy Taffy. Certain things that bring back your memories. And then go back to that and realize that you can't deny what you love, but instead, like in one of my chapters, you can make over your dysfunctional food friends salt, fat, and sugar. So find healthier versions of them so that you can still get the flavors that you've known and loved for years. And it seems the plan seems to work. A lot of moms have had really great success because they're no-nonsense, easy to follow, small, 5 simple things to do each week. Because I know I'm busy, and I don't think I could handle a whole, major transformation in one, a couple weeks span. So I say, let's take a few weeks and gradually make changes that will then last, for a lifetime. Hopefully, that's my goal. Yeah, we have a
nutritionist on sometimes that talks about small change, big impact, because people feel like they immediately need to go out and work out an hour a day, 6 days a week, instead of just, hey, you know what, maybe I'll just grab a 10-minute walk.
So, and I've seen women huffing and puffing down the street, and bless their heart, they don't look like they're trimming down because they're in pain. Their body it's like opposite of what your body wants to do. So I say find what you love, food, exercise, whatever it is, and then really get that passion around it. I love the smell and the aroma and the sound of bacon sizzling in the pan. So why not just put a little bit on my salad so that I get the flavor that I like, but then remembering to, of course, have the salad and the other healthy versions. And the book really gives really clear-cut examples of how women can make these slight changes without upheaving their whole family's lifestyle. As simple as adding a green smoothie every day. It's a great way to add vegetables, and when you blend smoothies, it like quadruples or triples the amount of impact if you were to chew them. So I always say blend them up and say, for example, the Vitamix, and get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, you can flip things into your kids' smoothies. I put like a chocolate peanut butter banana smoothie with a rice pea protein, and then I put a scoop of green powder in there, and my kid, she has no clue.
Right,
That's
or I'll
awesome.
just throw a couple of kale leaves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I actually bake kale almost every day for my daughter and I. We will we'll just down an entire pan.
Okay, well,
just
just to let you know, speaking of not comparing to anybody, I'm comparing myself right now because I'll just throw a yogurt and a carrot at my child, and I do not make the smoothie. But but
that's
at least,
okay.
And, I love where you're going with this, Beth, because I do think a lot of moms, they're listening, and they think, okay, I struggle with food myself, let alone trying to prepare it for my children without snacking on it, and then trying not to buy them things that I would like to snack on and so on and so forth that are really not good for any of us. How can moms change bad habits like those and like grabbing for chips or stopping by fast food because they're just in too much of a rush to do anything else? How can they change those habits when they say, but I just don't have time to whip up a smoothie for 15 minutes,
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that, because a lot of moms that I work with, that's exactly what they say. And there's a couple things throughout the book that I recommend. And one is, I know this sounds crazy, but I've timed myself. And if you pull the blender out the night before and you have everything right as you open the door of the fridge and anything that doesn't need to be refrigerated right next to it, it takes me literally like a minute. And then you fill the blender with water to soak, if you don't have time to wash it. And when you come home later, you wash it. It doesn't take as much time to cut up a salad. I timed it because I was for the book. I was like, I want to make sure. It doesn't take that long. Like, I keep my food processor right on the counter, and I lift up the little appliance garage and boom, 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 throw the stuff, rinse it later. Fill it with water, clean it later. So I think we assume that we don't have time to do these things when, in fact, we do. Another thing is, on, like, Sunday night, I make a huge pot of rice, and then I keep it in the fridge, in an appropriate sealed container, obviously, for, to keep it clean and whatnot. And I'll use it in different recipes throughout the first few days of the week.
Yeah.
Rice pudding or whatever, rice soup, soup in the chicken noodle soup or chicken soup with rice. I'm always trying to multi-meal.
Yeah, and then that saves time for you, where there can't be that excuse. I have friends who are like, oh, it's too expensive to eat healthy. I'm like, I'm sorry. Really, I was just at the store, and you can get 3 heads of romaine for 77 cents, really, and they're organic.
And sometimes organic is less than the regular. That's what I just do. I get the organic stuff that's on sale, and I just don't get the stuff
and another thing that I do is I do the multi-meal thing where I'll chop up veggies. Like, if you don't put any dressing on it, and I'll put a piece of, I use non-bleached paper towel. So I wrap the greens in it and put it in a plastic bag or a glass container, zip, like a Tupperware, put it in the fridge. Then you've got your salad for the next day lunch when your kids are at school. So you really just have to multi-meal. So when you're preparing, like my sister-in-law, I'm here visiting them in Boston right now, and she boiled chicken, and she made 3 meals, because everyone in her family is picky. And I was there, and I helped her. But she made like a chicken salad, a chicken pot pie, and boiled chicken for the kids to nibble on. So it was like 3 separate things. So if you do that, you'll save time. And it takes conditioning. And that's why with the book we do slow baby steps, because each week you add on one more thing. So it becomes a part of who you are.
Do you think moms are afraid to admit they love to eat? And if so, how do you get them into this new mindset that they can have a love affair with food other than lettuce? They can still have a good time with food other than lettuce. How do they make that transition if they're afraid to admit they love to eat? They're afraid to eat. How do they have a quote unquote love affair with food?
Well, what I do is I say in the book early on, I say, go back to when you're nostalgic, when you're young, and tell me 10 foods you love. No one's going to see this. Write it down between you and me. I don't care if it's Laffy Taffy, as I said, or salmon or banana splits, whatever. Write it down and become familiar. By the act of writing it, you get familiar that this is what I love. Then acknowledge it. I go to parties and I'll eat a mini cupcake if people, I eat stuff. I just make sure I exercise and balance my meals. And the big trick, eat 2 fist size of portions, like 2 handfuls, which is about the size of your stomach. And if you eat every 3 hours, give or take, gives your food time to digest, then you never get hungry, because the biggest problem is women undereat, and then they end up overeating later in the day. If you don't get enough of good salt, fat, and sugar, which is the good versions, like healthy fat from nuts, avocados, olive oil, your body craves it and it doesn't feel satiated, satisfied. So slowly, you just have to, it's something that's a lot deeper than that. I think when you read the book, it'll make sense, because I've got women writing me saying, oh my God, I made a banana split the other day and I just had like half a banana and a couple tiny scoops of ice cream. And, so you're able to go back to what you love. You just have to understand that it's okay as long as you're doing the other stuff, which is getting your greens, your nutrients, your fish oil, so on and so forth. So you have to, and the book will clearly explain that and outline it. And I think you'll notice gradual changes, because 21 days to a flat this or that, what happens on day 24 and 27?
Yes.
Yeah, you're toast.
Puffy again? Mine is a lifetime, a love affair for the rest of your life, as long as you don't let it take hold. You want to love the food. You don't want the food to love you, meaning you got to know when to say when, and you have to learn portion control. It takes time, but it's fabulous. It really works. And when it's done in a conversation, cheeky, kind of fun way, the way we do it, it makes you lighten up a lot.